Scrum teams are taught they need to have a sprint goal. The Scrum Guide says so, lots of Agile coaches say so. I disagree. I don't think every team needs a sprint goal every sprint. And today I'm going to tell you why sprint goals are not always useful. Hi, I'm Mike Cohn, and I'm the author of 3 best-selling books on Agile and Scrum. I help teams succeed with Agile. First off, sprint goals are great for some teams, some of the time. I just don't think every team needs one every sprint. I have to tell you though, I'm in the minority on this view. Just like I'm in the minority in believing, or at least hoping, that Nessie is real. Okay, maybe Nessie isn't real, but there are real benefits to having a sprint goal for some teams, just not every team. A sprint goal is a short 1 or 2 sentence description of a Scrum team's single objective for the sprint. I love that. I spend a lot of time advising organizations to narrow their focus regarding what they'll achieve, whether it be for a year, a quarter, or even a single sprint. It's all too common for an organization or team to select a goal the way I load my plate at a buffet. A little of this, a little of that, some of the other. But sometimes a sprint cannot be focused on a single objective. Some teams simply have multiple things that need to get done. For example, consider a digital agency. A team there could be simultaneously building a new website for one client, doing some mid-sized enhancements for a second client, and making small bug fixes or edits for 5 additional clients. How should their sprint goal be written? Should the goal focus on the new website, which will consume the most work during the sprint? Or should the goal focus on the small edits, if those are for the company's most important client? Some teams merge all that into one goal with something like, finish the 7 user stories we committed to. That doesn't help. It doesn't provide the clarity a good sprint goal gives. And it's too broad to focus the team on a single objective. Teams who write finish the user stories we committed to and consider that a sprint goal have effectively given up on sprint goals. The goal of the sprint goal is to focus the team's attention on what most needs to be achieved. I remember how vital this was in the late 90s, the early days of Scrum. Back then, all teams did 4-week sprints. No one did what today we call product backlog refinement, and extreme programming hadn't yet introduced the world to user stories. Back in the 90s, teams would lose sight of what they were working on. I can clearly remember a long ago mid-sprint discussion with a programmer who said, "Remind me, what is it we're trying to get done in this sprint?" In a long sprint with inadequately expressed product backlog items, this developer had quite literally forgotten whatever big goal the team was pursuing that sprint. The sprint goal served to restore focus on that goal. I remember answering his question with increasing the average time spent on the search results screen, which was the sprint goal. In the early days of Scrum, sprint goals were usually used to evaluate the sprint. Meet the sprint goal, and the sprint was a success. Don't achieve the sprint goal, and the sprint was not a success. Looking at a sprint this way is incomplete. There are often important things that need to be done that are outside a 1 or 2 sentence sprint goal. Distilling an entire sprint to one goal has the same problems I have with to-do and personal productivity systems that tell me to make a list of the 3 most important things I need to accomplish each day. Paying my mortgage is rarely the most important thing I need to do on a given day, but it does need to be done. Should I really put off paying my mortgage until the day I'm to be evicted for non-payment, at which point it finally is the most important thing that day? A sprint is a complicated collection of work that a team needs to accomplish. That work cannot always be encapsulated within a single goal. Here's what I'd recommend. If sprint goals work for your team, by all means, you should continue using them. If you hear, what is it we're trying to get done this sprint from the team, sprint goals can help. And if you're new to Scrum, you should absolutely try writing sprint goals for a few sprints. But if you've tried writing sprint goals and they just didn't work for your team, then consider your effort a useful experiment and proceed without them. There you go. You've heard my opinion on sprint goals. Let me hear yours in the comments section. I'd love to hear if sprint goals are working for you. As I said, they work for many teams. But if you've tried sprint goals and they haven't worked, let me know how your team has been doing without sprint goals. I'll bet the wheels didn't fall off. If this video has been useful, click the like button. And if you're new to this channel, click subscribe so you don't miss out on future tips to help you succeed with Agile. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.